Welcome to the Classroom Brew podcast. A teacher podcast is a little bit like comedians in cars getting coffee or drunk history. Do we actually drink when we record episodes? Yeah. Actually. Yeah. All right, welcome back. This is episode 120. This is now the new year. It's 2020 when this comes out. That's wild to me. And this episode is brought to you by some mango and rum. And if you want to know the name of the brand of the rum, pay me. You want the brand in there? Pay me, rum company. No, it's delicious. Whatever combination. We're probably gonna do some refill breaks. This is gonna be one of those episodes. It's been a while since we've done a solo episode, and I tried. Yeah, we're good for recording. And I tried doing a recording in a new spot in the apartment, but there was like this little digital interference, and so we're in this spot, but we got the different chair, we got the French bulldog, pillow. We could not get that obviously to work out in the classroom to get a therapy dog, but here we are with the podcast doing it this way, and it's a new year, but the end of the year did not go. The end of the 2019 school year still going on. It did not go down easily. So a few weeks ago, on one of my episodes, I mentioned that we were going to do temporary rooms on a Monday. Okay, Monday's already a challenge, but we did a temporary room setup because the heat was not working in various parts of the building, or they were going to do repairs to the boiler or something like that. And so we were moved, like half the teachers were moved. And when I tell you that our classroom was festive for the holidays, what I mean by that, have you seen Home Alone 1 or Home Alone 2? Because when I tell you, let me get real close for this. When I tell you that the room that I was in was a goddamn nightmare, I'm not joking around. Like, I'm talking like nails, like a 2x4 with like rusty nails sticking out were chilling on the desks that they set up for me. The room itself was dusty, like dirt on the desks. Like if a kid were to sit down, it would be like they'd be covered all day with whatever was on it, because it was a storage room essentially, including like all the boxes for like these tablets that we got last year. Just like the classroom ready, not instruction ready. It's an absolute nightmare. So the morning of, I got there especially early to make sure it was all ready to go, and it wasn't. And so literally had to just barricade one side of the room, because this room was huge. Just barricade it with like desks and tables and shit and hope that people get the hint. They didn't. And it was also 80 degrees. It was way too fucking hot. So already, it's not even at this point 7 a.m, and I'm getting this room set up, and I'm sweaty. I'm sweating. I already had to change my plan. And it was awful. It was all the way up on the 4th floor. Normally I'm on the 2nd floor. And not to mention, every single time, kids would walk in, even if they had other temporary classrooms that day, I had to answer the question of, why are we here today? I kid you not, though. Like, Jesus. Like, it looked like I was trying to avoid the invaders, my students, coming into the room, because this was just a nightmare, just a, booby trap of a million lawsuits just waiting for me. It was festive. It's definitely festive. Home Alone is definitely a Christmas movie. But that room was a goddamn nightmare. I'm so glad it's done. Closer to break, though, get some mango and rum. A delicious combination, by the way, for those of you that haven't tried it. But even if you do make it strong, it's not really, you can't really tell. It's fine. And closer to our break, going on break. Right now we're on break, thank God. Closer to break, though, we did a floor hockey student versus staff game. And it was fun, because usually we do like a student versus staff basketball game. Like, it doesn't matter what season it is, even if it's not basketball season. Like, it could be time for football, and it's like, oh, we're going to do student versus staff basketball. And it almost inevitably turns into, it's like the starting five of our actual basketball team up against the starting five from like 2007. Like just alumni somehow know that they're student versus staff and they're not actually staff, but they show up because some staff member told them. And then it just becomes a old school versus new school. So we were like, fuck that. Let's do something that more people can get involved in. And so we did. And the floor hockey thing was great because even if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you can still go out there, run around, have a good time. And that's exactly what happened is we had a bunch of kids that had no clue what they were doing. And so in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to get hit in the face with a stick. Like it's a matter of time. Amazingly, I didn't though. So that's pretty cool. But I thought it was inevitable that I would be hit in the face with a goddamn hockey stick the Friday before break when I volunteered to play in this shit. And I didn't have to, but it was fun. Truly, it was. I scored a goal, which was great. And honestly, my number one goal was let's play a little, let's D up a little bit. Let's just frustrate the shit out of them, and that's what we did. Now it wasn't until there was a certain point because like you're not going 100% effort because it's like it's for the kids. Let them get the win, right? And at a certain point, we were tied or losing or whatever it was, and some student in the stands, I have no clue who he was. He goes, "Hey, y'all suck, teachers. Y'all suck. Y'all fucking suck." And I go, "Excuse me? What did you say?" In my head, this is all in my head. "Oh, it's on, kid. You're going to say the teacher team sucks at this sport that none of us have played, either ever, the students, or within the last 15 years? 5 or 6 for me. It's been a while, but not that long. Oh, it's on, kid. And you bet your ass we're bringing 100% effort at this point." And we won 8-7. It was great. It was a great, like, all right, we got that kid. But I swear, you say anything, you make a fun game. I'm really close to the camera right now if you're watching the video podcast. If you say anything, we're going to bring it. We'll destroy you. I'll stick check a kid. I don't care. I'll body check it. Cross check-in's illegal. I'll do it. There's only one ref today. You think he's going to notice? I'll do it fast. I'm kidding. Someone's going to be like, this guy's talking, and I'm kidding. 100% kidding. But no, it was fun. It was a friendly competition. It was great to see people that don't usually get involved in that kind of stuff get involved. It was great. Prior to that, though, I did take a mental health day because I'm really bad about taking mental health days. The idea is you're a little bit exhausted. As I take another drink, you're a little bit exhausted, and so it's time to take a day so you can just get your mind right, come back refreshed, because you can only pour so much from your cup until you're empty. And at this point, well, at the point that I was going to take this day, I knew I was on empty. Because, like for example, I had a field trip the day before. And the day before that field trip, so it basically went regular work week up till Wednesday. Thursday is a field trip. Friday is the mental health day that I plan to take. And I knew it was for sure time. I was on the fence. I didn't actually do all the paperwork and all that stuff until Wednesday afternoon. Because when some kids came in late to my 8th period, and they always come late. They always come late. It got to the point where when they handed me their tardy pass, they kind of looked at me like, kind of leaning back like in pain, like we don't know how he's going to react to this. And I was like, okay, that's probably not a good sign. And then another student comes in, and here's my tardy pass. Like, you know what? It's probably time. If my students are fearful to give me a tardy pass, they got it, by the way. Thank you. But if they're fearful to give me the tardy pass for whatever the reaction might be, someone that's in CPS, they probably see me as a strict teacher, but anywhere else, pretty laid back teacher with boundaries. So if they see that laid back teacher as someone they're like, I don't know if I want to give this to him. Maybe I should have just, ran out the door. That's time for that teacher to take a mental health day. So that's what I did. I even told them the next day, on Monday, they're like, "Where'd you go? You weren't here the day after the field trip." And I was like, "Yeah, I saw the way you guys looked at me when you gave me a tardy pass." And you guys were all like, maybe we shouldn't give it to him. So the mental health day itself, though, I don't know if it actually was a mental health day. Truly, I'm really bad about taking them in general. This was the first day that I've taken since like May of last school year. So it's been a while. And I don't know. I worried about everything the entire time. It's obviously more work to prepare for the sub. I met the sub the day before though, so I've got no sub qualms. I know I'm really, big on the qualms against subs. Not for this one. But I thought about it the whole time. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen with like, is my room going to be a disaster? Is everything going to go okay? Like we're, because of the strike, we're on like this weird timeline, and are the students going to feel comfortable asking, either my co-teacher or the sub if they need help in that one class? And it wasn't actually a break. So, and of course, when I came back, on that Monday, nothing got done, of course, but like, I don't know why I worried about it, because I knew nothing would get done anyway. But the whole time my mind was on it, it wasn't really a mental health break, Like, sure, I got to like sleep a little bit later. And by later, I mean like instead of waking up at 5, I woke up at 7 naturally. But it was 2 hours. I'm not going to complain. I'll take those 2 hours. But yeah, so I don't know if you're someone that has a hard time with mental health days, or if you take them and you're good to go. I'd like to know what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong, or what it'd be nice to either get validation or to get advice on this, because mental health days are really hard for me to take. I know it's very common because, we have like this stranglehold. We need everything to go perfectly to plan at certain points, and it's hard to take a day, and the stress, of course. But if you're someone that's done a mental health day, or you struggle to take them, let me know. You can reach me at classroombrew or classroombrew@gmail.com. I truly do want to know. That can be a voice memo. It could be an email. It could be a message, whatever. Just something. Give me something. Yeah. So the biggest thing too is I also took a day. It was not a mental health day, but I also took a day to go to a professional development, a PD. And I get, let me get real close again. Let me get intimate here with this camera. Here's the thing about PT days. Almost none of us want to be there for most of them. There's some that help. I'll give you that. Like there were some good ones I've gone to so far, but for the most part, no. Now, do I need you to do a demo lesson and tell me candidly, I'm going to treat you like students, even though I know you're adults, but just play along for my sake? These are direct words. Do I need that moment? Do I need that demo lesson? I've got an imagination. If you show me the materials, great. I'll do it. I'll figure it out in my head and what's going to happen. I'll go through the little motions. I'll do the little, the icebreaker we inevitably have to do. I get it. They got a job to do. I got a job to do. We're both here, so let's just get it over with and do it together. But you want to treat somebody, an entire room, let's go with that, with 2 or 3 degrees on average per person. And you're going to make them do a bell ringer on content so you can show them a strategy that you use? What are you doing? None of us need that. I can say that confidently. None of us need that. And I say it on every evaluation form. So if you run PD and you're doing some sort of a demo lesson, stop. Now, I am not the person giving the, whatever you want to call it, the sponsor, the spokesperson. That's spokesperson. But let me just say, if you are someone that runs a PD and you are taking that moment to, maybe you miss teaching, like maybe you're a 2nd or 3rd year teacher that decided, you know what, I need to take my expertise to people that have been in the classroom longer. I need to run PDs from all these hardy years 1 and 2 and maybe 3, because it's always people that run it, right? And I'm going to do a demo lesson because I miss teaching. Hey, stop it. That's my hot take. So if it's controversial, sorry. Maybe it's the rum. Doubt it, because I would say this if I was sober. What I did say when I was sober is, hey, if you give me a folder at the start of the PD, you put all the handouts in that folder. Like don't like suddenly say, and also if you grab 1 of these, 2 of these, and 3 of these from this pile, and 1 more of these of the half sheets, and then a sticky note, and then if your sticky note's this color, stop. Just stop right there. Give me all the handouts at once, Like, if you give me a folder and it's, on 2 pockets, there's like 15 handouts on each side, that's all I'm doing. If it's in the folder, great, do it. Now, if it's a multi-day thing, that's one thing, of course. But if this is a 1-day thing and you give me the agenda and all the items that I think I need, but then suddenly you're going to treat me like a student, even though I got 2 degrees, and there's some people in the room that have 3 degrees, or more, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 degrees. I don't know what people are doing. Maybe 8 licenses or some shit. Don't give me extra handouts. I'm not doing it. Like you give me 5 handouts, I'm doing the 5. That's it. That's in my contract, I think, somewhere. Maybe we'll have to check. Lori Lightfoot, I'm sure she knows something about how many things I got to do. It's in my contract. She signed it reluctantly. Maybe she used pen that could be copied over. I don't know. But check with her. Check with CTU on how many handouts you can make me do in a PD. Because they do it. They just do it. They do it too many times. They just, it's too many times. Even if it's once, that's too many times. Hey, we have a demo lesson. We only have one. That's too many. Maybe it's just one. Yeah, I know what I said. You got one demo lesson? That's one too many. We're all adults. One too many lessons. You got 2 different folders? That's one too many. That's 2 too many, really. You know what I mean? If you agree or disagree with me, let me know. If you run PDs, apologies, not really though. That's truly how I feel. Which brings me to this big thing that I've been kind of thinking about. And professional development. I'm obviously open to it. I have taken some things from it. I am critical. I do joke about it, obviously, right now for the sake of blowing off some steam, and it's, winter break. But I've encountered a handful of people that, I'm an instructional coach now. And I also know people that are also giving people advice and things like that, or going in. To be honest, if I get somebody like I don't care. You come in my room, it's an open door policy. It depends on, if it's right before break or something like that. And obviously we're not going to do anything. That's a different story, but I don't, it's fine. I don't care. And ooh, I forgot I made that one struck. It's fine. And it doesn't matter. I almost want to just say just go ahead. It's fine. Don't warn me, because that probably would give me anxiety. I'd rather not know. You just go for it, okay? But there's some people that they're just resistant to it, either because maybe they're insecure, and that's justified, I guess. But there's some people that I know, I'm not just talking about in my school, people that I know that have said, I already got this thing down pat. I'm already the greatest teacher in the state, probably. And to that, I got to say, you're not. The whole thing, it's like that whole, your degree is a piece of paper. How you act is your actual level, or shows your actual level of education. I'm going to post it in the video to help you guys out, to help me out, because I can't get the phrase right now. But you're telling me you think that you got everything. You got all the tools to succeed, and you're not going to adjust anything? What? Get your fucking ego out of it, man. I know 3 people that have said this shit. One of them is referring to me I'm not going to listen to what you have to say. And all right, cool. Maybe my expertise, but get your ego in check. There's a reason that, you get assigned an instructional coach, and it doesn't always have to be a negative thing. It can just be, hey, this person's great. Let's elevate them even greater. But instead, people take it as, no, I'm the greatest thing to hit teaching since Horace Mann. That's quite the reference right there, by the way. Horace Mann, what a reference. There's 18 Horace Mann schools in the United States. I barely even know Horace Mann. I have to look that up later. Next episode. Or you can tell me, look it up, Horace Mann. But people with the ego, you really don't want to, you want to stop improving is what you're telling me? You don't want to keep getting better? You claim to know, your rigidity in whatever your set ways are, you think this is it. This is the pinnacle. I'm the pinnacle. The fuck's wrong with people? You know what I mean? Maybe this is more of an aggressive episode, but you can blame the rum on that. But truly, this is something that I haven't said anything on the podcast about it. I've kind of had it on my mind. And now, you know what? I'm on break. This is break Classroom Brew. The one where we do rum with mango juice, so you can't taste the liquor. Even this one's a little strong. You can't actually taste it. But these ego teachers, I'm like, you know what? If you are the pinnacle, I don't want you teaching my kid. When you get the point. Ego teachers. It baffles me. Again, I'm someone that's pretty jokingly anti-professional development, right? But at the same time, they got a job. Just listen to them. Maybe they know something. Maybe you can at least get inspiration from something. There's almost at least 2 or 3 things that I jot down. I could do this with that idea. If I change it, switch it around, modify it, boom. That kind of a thing. But the people that are just so rigid, I don't need this. I'm the greatest teacher ever. I'm going to just zoom out and text on my phone. Fuck off. Come on, man. What are you doing? Do you really think you're the greatest thing? Fantastic. Become the best thing. Something. I'm sure someone knows what I'm talking about. There's some people that obviously have encountered that. But that's where I'm at. Truly. And someone asked me too, they were like, how do you deal with, this is a great transition, Ryan, great podcasting right there. Someone asked me like, how do you deal with students that are just like negative? Because I've dealt with a lot of whiners this year. Like, all right, this is the activity we're going to do today, blah, blah, blah. I'm like simplifying right now, obviously. And they just go, nah. And someone asked, well, how do you deal with kids that just refuse? And they just go, nah. And I don't have the solution to that. Honestly, I just ignore the whiny kids. I'm starting to think I could be like, hey, I have a niece and nephew that have a combined age less than 5, and they whine less than you. Probably can't pull that one off. But my advice is if they're saying nah, you just got to double negative their asses. Truly. They're like, nah, you just go, nah. And they'll be like, I guess so. Hey, Mr. F, I don't want to do this assignment. I'm not going to do this 2-page paper. Nah, man. And I'll just go, nah. And be like, I guess so now because he said nah to my nah. That'll work, right? That'll 100% work. I don't know if that would work. I do know that I'm doing a podcasting unit and I'm so nervous for it. I haven't decided if I want to do it for all 3 of my US classes or just the honors group. Because I know literally 3/4 of one group, they're not going to be there to ever do anything. This first period. First period's an issue. Like I have this one student that's for sure failing first period. Like if HIJKLMNOP was a grade, they're somewhere within that part of the alphabet, right? Because they're never there. And, this student, I'm not going to say male or female, the student came up to me and was like, well, why am I failing? I was like, I haven't seen you in my 4 walls all semester. I've seen you write your name once, and that's because I saw you doing homework from another class in the lunchroom. Of course you're failing. Well, can I get my missing work? I'm like, it's December. It's been a few months, and I haven't seen any work. But anyways, that's why I'm worried about the podcast unit. Is that, there's a recording that I'm doing in a studio that I built, and I'll post pictures, I'm sure, because it's done, and I finally built it, and I worked really hard on it. But there's kids that aren't going to be there by 8 a.m. Sometimes if I teach a first period and a fourth period class, I have second and third as a prep. And sometimes if people don't get there by 10 a.m., or if they do get there by 10 a.m., I'm like, oh, great, you made it. Like, yes, break out the welcome party. This is fantastic. But that's the issue that I've been having. And I guess the last thing that's kind of on my mind, this is like the shoot from the hip episode. You're getting a lot of these. I wrote like 2 things down on my little book that I looked at and realized, oh, you should have written more, Ryan, but we don't need it. We don't need it. But I got this, the number neighbor thing. So I got a message from a number neighbor and a while ago, and they sent me some like witty message like, hey, number neighbor. And I didn't know what it was at the time. I just went, what? Never responded. But I think my number neighbor, one of the 2, obviously not going to say my number, ordered a book. And this was the voicemail. This was the voicemail I got. Let's see if I can get this to play. All right, here we go. Bleep stuff out, of course.
Hi, this message is for this is Moran calling from Half Price Books. Calling to let you know your copy of a had arrived. We'll have that to register. We'll hold up for 2 weeks, okay? Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you. You have a good night, too. 2 weeks, Now, I don't know what that book is. I'm going to bleep it. Again, if you want to know what the name of the book was, pay me, publishers. You're not getting this free advertisement. But imagine if it was a book that I truly did not like. Like if it was like The Art of Unnecessary Handouts at PDs. I'd for sure call back and be like, yeah, you can cancel that order. I'm definitely not going to need that book. You should just burn it, actually. Thank you. So I don't know if I should let my number neighbor know. I'm sure they know by now. They're probably going to check. It's, that voicemail is a few weeks old, so it's been the 2 weeks. So maybe they got it, maybe they didn't. I don't know. If you want to know what the book is, you can DM me because I'm going to bleep that. Obviously going to bleep the name. Bleep. Oh, I had a stroke again. Bleep the name of the guy that worked there, obviously, too. You're welcome. That's really it. I'm on break. I got a rum and mango drink that I made. It's delicious. This was the shoot from the hip episode. This was episode 120. I'm excited. We're in 2020. The podcast started in September of 2017, and now we're in January of 2020. That's wild to me. For those of you that, I forgot it's so strong. Why is it so strong? For those of you that supported the podcast this whole time, I appreciate that. If you were not a fan of episode 119, you know what? I was going to take some time. Wanted to enjoy time with my friends and family. So didn't feel like sitting down to record right before Christmas. I'm recording this one shortly after Christmas. So there you go. You only missed 1 week. No one really listens, the week. Maybe if you're driving as much as I do to visit family on all ends of the state. Yeah, it's the first week that I've posted like a non-episode, if you will, and support the decision. So thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully this was a nice way to make up for it with a full-length video podcast episode for 120 to bring in the new year, just like we did last year with the first episode of the new year. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys listening and watching. Hopefully you watched it. I posted the review of that microphone from that company I was talking about that sent me the microphone, so you can check that out as well. Especially if you're thinking about getting into podcasting, you can check that out. As always, you can email me, classroombrew@gmail.com. You can reach me on social media at classroombrew. Send me a video message, something. If you want to be on the show, especially, reach out to me. I appreciate you guys doing that. It's great to chat with people instead of just doing solo episodes, even though they're really riveting when they're solo episodes. This was the most you're going to get from me energy-wise. But, you got me on a week's worth of rest, even though I was wrapping presents and getting everything ready and stressing about shipping and making sure that everything was okay in transit and driving in traffic against people that are being assholes, even though we're all going to the same place to our Christmas or holiday celebrations. Even with all that, I put this out for you. So that's for you guys. So thanks so much for listening and watching. And until next week, class dismissed.